Okay, guess how dumb I am. I hit the wrong button. Instead of hitting pause, I hit stop, so we're going to have 2 entries. God. See, this is what sucks about getting older and you can't see anything, have the lights turned down. So stupid. All right, what was I?
It's really not that serious.
It bothers me. So, what was I blabbing about? We were talking about the... Oh, it's fun watching it with you because you don't want... The idea of seeing a horror movie or a thriller, even if it's typically... For me to see this, I'm like, that's a thriller. It's not... I wouldn't call it a horror movie. But it does have...
Elements of horror.
Elements that are of horror. It was a real lobbying process to convince you to watch it. You remember? Because I'm like, I want to see this. Everybody keeps talking about it. Like,
I was like, no way, yeah.
I forget. I'm like, and then a friend of mine, I'm not gonna say who, sent it to me. I don't know how he got it, but he sent it to me via text, and we watched it on my phone. I'm like, I'm just going to start watching it. You do whatever you want to do over there, making muffins or whatever. Oh, it's so good. And you got roped in. You watched, 3 minutes of it? And then
I think you started it while I was in the shower, and you were like, my friend sent this movie to me. And I started watching it, and it's pretty good. So you should come watch it. And so I started to watch it.
You're like, I'm only going to watch it for a couple minutes. And that turned into 20. You're like, all right, move over.
And we didn't watch the whole thing initially, and then you were like, I'm going home to watch the rest of it, and I'll let you know how it is. And then when I came home, I
don't think anything really gory happened in the first half that we saw. But, yeah, because I covered your eyes 3 times yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say. Okay.
Like the headbutt stuff?
Oh, I was just going to say that the first time that we sat down to watch it, I thought the most gory thing was the principal.
Yeah, the thing with the bile, I don't know what that was all about. Well, I guess
I didn't see it until yesterday.
Yeah, the thing with the bile, I don't know what that would... Unless, I've heard something before about, witches... there's a common theme, or it's not a theme. I don't know what you'd call it, but a plot device whenever the devil or a witch is presented, and in The Exorcist, you saw this. They'd vomit, but it's not from the stomach. It's from another place. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean in the body. It's someone is... It
comes from somewhere into them and comes out through them.
Yeah, it's almost like it's an ectoplasm, or that it's some kind of thing, because there is a scene where somebody gets vomited on, but it's not vomit. It's just blackness, and it's... I know this is weird to discuss on a podcast, but it's almost like... It's so overt. You're like, this is supposed to show that something supernatural is happening, because that is not something that would normally come out of the body. Mm-hmm. That's one. And also, whenever you see a lot of flies around a person, you're like, that person is possessed by the devil, or there's something demonic going on with that person.
Not right, yeah.
They did that with Amityville a lot, and there's a couple other movies where flies were a thing. You're like, yeah. And there wasn't flies with this, but disease also. Mm-hmm. Because that Gladys had a disease. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see, that's sort of a mark of a higher class of scary movie. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see these things that reflect biblical elements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just some Looney Tune who's out, chopping people up. But you see stuff I did, at the time, when I first saw that scene, I'm like, oh my God, that's disgusting. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's disgusting, but it's also so abnormal that it kind of, upon seeing it again, I'm like, that's supposed to mean something. Because that's, like, if it was an alien, that would be one thing, but there's strange things afoot. It's almost like it signals that there is something supernatural happening.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't think you would normally get that from the first viewing, but when you watch it again, actually there's a lot of videos, like YouTube videos, about the symbolism in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like the bell that's used, it's sort of an inverted triangle. This one I think is a bit of a reach, but I watched one video that showed a comparison between that and the triangle because there's two characters who suffer from alcoholism and they go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and that is the logo. It is a right-sided triangle with a circle in it. And when you see the bell, it being an inverted triangle, it's sort of like it's like these people are trying to correct themselves and do something and to deal with addiction. And I think that was another thing, is he put those characters in there struggling with alcoholism as some kind of a homage to his friend who killed himself. This is Zach's. We probably could have found videos that we could have referenced.
I didn't even know that was a thing, yeah.
Yeah, substance abuse was a catalyst for making this movie. And it has its footprints and its fingerprints all over this, one being two of the characters struggle with alcoholism, and when Paul has a conversation on the phone with his wife, and she kind of is this overbearing. So are you going to a meeting? He's like, I don't need to go to one today. I mean, if I feel like I'm going to drink, I'll go, but I'm fine. And she keeps pushing, and just kind of makes the whole. As you're listening to them talk, you're like, why are you marrying this? You shouldn't be getting married. Like if you're, even if you're in recovery, it's probably not. And she really gets upset with him when when they have their argument
on the phone.
No, when they have their argument. Remember that scene where she catches him at home and he kind of fumbles his words about where he was. Remember that?
Yeah, later.
And she melts down. I couldn't tell if she was melting down because she figured out he was unfaithful, or if because she thought he drank, which he probably did do.
I think it was a mix of both. Because I remember that, and I remember thinking the same thing, but I think that there was suspicion of one thing which led to another. So it could be A and it could be B, and then those things led to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, his
I don't think they were meant to be together. I don't think that
she seemed like a forced relationship, because he actually went to meet Julia or Justine.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a forgettable character, the soon-to-be wife or the now wife.
Yeah.
Like when you see her appear on screen, you're like, oh God, he doesn't like her.
You could tell immediately.
Oh, yeah. And like when he takes phone calls from her, he's just exasperated. It makes you wonder. It's like, why? What is this? Do you think this is what sobriety is supposed to be? Is this, going down this conventional path and marrying somebody you don't want to marrying the boss's daughter? And I would like some kind of clarification around that. Like, why were you marrying them? I know that you and Justine couldn't be together, but why this woman? Like, maybe she represented sobriety to him, but
I think that's that's a whole other commentary.
Go ahead.
But I just think that that's a really interesting, I don't know, characteristic to have in a relationship, and of any kind, not just like two people, like family or otherwise, because I think it's an interesting relationship to have an alcoholic person with a not alcoholic person, because how do they relate to each other? And maybe it's just my small personal experience, but I couldn't be in a relationship like that because it's so hard. It's so difficult. There's nothing that I can relate to with a person that's having a trouble with an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see how. I mean, of course, people are always saying that if anybody's going to help you, it's you. You have to help yourself. So what role, in quote, am I doing
Why
in this relationship? How am I helping? I'm not. And so then to turn it back to this movie, he didn't want to be in a relationship with this lady anyway. And she was like hounding him about his problems, but they're not really her problems. They're his problems. And if anybody's going to work through it, it's going to be him. And so...
Well, they impact her, but...
Yeah, that's...
Which makes you wonder, is this like... She didn't really come across as... Or they didn't develop the character, so you would think she was doing this... she was being involved with his life like that because she was... I'm losing my vocabulary here. Like, I felt like it was, if it was more about him and she was being engaged with his life as much as she was, if she was continued to hound him as much as she did, you would see some kind of character build up as to why she was so forthright. But I think it was so shallow and you saw so little of it. It's because this is just to serve her. She just wants a normal family and home life and relationship. And like, number one, don't marry an alcoholic. That's number one.
Right.
But I think that's the big trap for alcoholics, is that you shouldn't really socialize with other alcoholics. I mean,
definitely not.
Yeah, you go to a meeting so you can commune about the problems you've had and to reflect on steps you need to take. But I have one friend who I just saw who is in AA, and I remember when he first started going, he told me that they told him not to don't have a sexual relationship with somebody in the program because it will invariably blow up in your face. And I remember he did get involved with somebody, and he's like, "Well, we understand each other." I'm like, "That is exactly what they tell you not to do."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I'm like, you're making excuses, dude. This is bad news. She's gonna drink, or she's going to give you an excuse to drink, or it's like you don't do it." And then for people who don't struggle with the illness, not to say you can't just understand that if you get involved with somebody who has that problem, your right to be disappointed is kind of you can be disappointed, but the right to be disappointed from your peers is going to be kind of limited. Like, I can't believe he relapsed. Really? Because it happens to most of them. I think your mic is going to fall off there. Yeah.
Thank you.
So probably a little bit more.
Yeah, than we needed.
But I mean, that's the fun thing about watching movies is, especially with ones that develop characters, is that you can kind of, even if it wasn't part of the script or part of the story, you can understand the character better.
Well, I think in all characters, and I forget about this a lot, but there's always a background story. And actually, related to this movie, they do talk about that. That the director cast. Well, okay, so this is a little tangent, but
Mm-hmm.
the director cast the lady who played Gladys because he saw her in Field of Dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and he thought she would be really good for this role.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm just making it up, but like sat down to talk about it, he let her come up with her own backstory. And now, since this movie has come out, there are talks about, I think you told me this last night, talks about a prequel, and a
Gladys
prequel to be, about the character of Gladys and where she came from and how she got to be, not literally how she got to be so-and-so's aunt, but like how she got to be this like witchy aunt who came to, she just, what, I was saying too much?
Well,
I was just gonna say, I'll
I
stop.
mean, like, no, not that I want you to step, but like I want people to see this, and like you can't. She's ill in the movie,
Yeah.
and at first, when they tell you this, and you see her, you're like, she's up to something. I don't know if she's ill.
I know that was so weird in the beginning. I remember thinking
like maybe
that.
we're being lied to, or maybe there's something.
What's going on?
Yeah, and then you see her later in the movie. She's in her room and she's getting sick, and you're like, oh, she
Is something
is
really
ill.
wrong with her?
You're like, she is ill. And I think a lot of things are presumed with the thing with the kids about how that may or may not impact her health. And then at one point she talks about leaving with Alex, and you just start to want, like, is her relationship with that tree that she carries around, is that part of why she's getting ill, or is she ill because of her what she is, or are they mutually exclusive, or what's the like ill from what? So if they do a prequel, I would like to see that explored to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that just brings it back to what we were saying before. There's always the backstory for all these characters in all these different movies, but you just I don't think about what their backstory is. The actor comes to the movie set with all that, like, what do you say, preconceived, or they've figured it out before, and then they act this way, and I guess on the surface of things, I just watch it and I just think, okay, that's who this character is, and once in a long while I might think about, like, where did this person come from, how did they get to be like this, whatever the movie might be. But I don't really think about that most of the time.
yeah, with Gladys, I'm very, very curious because she acted like in all the things that I've seen about not child molestation, but child endangerment. You know how she was immediately threatening him. And she acted nice for half a second until he pulled back, and she's like, "You're going to do what I say."
Yeah.
It's like you can tell this kid's young, he's impressionable, and he's being manipulated, forcibly, and being like, she's like, "You're going to do this."
And immediately, too, because, and I don't think this is saying too much, because I was thinking about this a few minutes ago.
These people, they say shit like, "I'll kill your parents." And that, like, it's not just words. In this situation, it's like parents have been affected, and she's right there manipulating it. So Alex is like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I cut you off.
I don't have
though.
another choice.
I cut you off, though. Go ahead.
No, thank you. I was just going to, it's fine. I was just going to say, in the beginning of the movie, not the beginning of the movie, but in the movie, when Gladys is introduced, the premise is that she's just an aunt visiting.
Yeah.
And you just think, okay, Like an aunt is coming to, and the parents say she's coming to stay with us for a while. We're not sure how long it's going to be, but she's sick. And that goes back to like what you were saying earlier about, well, what really is,
Why is she
the
there?
deal? What is the situation? Because
She didn't look sick. She looked odd.
she looked very odd. And also, like, I mean, I don't think it's telling this either, but she arrived in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that was really bizarre. And it was hard to see because it was in the dark. But, like, you know, if someone comes to visit you, they bring a suitcase or a bag. And I don't think...
She just had that tree. Or she had her handbag.
She did, yeah. I mean, it was just a strange premise. The whole thing was weird. But it sounded normal in the beginning.
Yeah,
And then something happened.
yeah. So good. This is the thing when you see a movie. Have you noticed this when we talk about a movie that we think is just really fantastic? You don't want to give it away, so we almost end up saying less.
Yeah, I have.
But there are some gory parts. If you can get past this, just the way the story was weaved together was masterful. I loved it. If they do make Gladys's prequel, I'll be first in line. And not that I get off on the gory stuff, because I don't typically go in for horror movies unless it's just such a spellbinder that everyone's talking about it. But
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think even in this movie, you're like, ugh, that's just...
But
too
you know
much.
what? When you hear, you hear like by the third person, it's like, you gotta see this. Really? That's why I don't put a ton of faith in advertising. But word of mouth, man, word of mouth is awesome.
That's how I've seen the number of like psychological thriller movies that I've seen. I can count on like one hand probably the ones that I've seen in my life, and that's
Nope was the same way. You
again
didn't want to
not
see
a
that
genre.
either.
Or Get Out. I was like, no way. And then word of mouth was spreading, and you were hearing all these things, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, this movie. And then I went, and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I
one battle
really,
after another.
really like this. Oh, that was a good one too. That was excellent.
Tons of word of mouth on that one. And I mean, who doesn't want to see Sean Penn get shot in the face? All right, that's all I'm saying. I think we've covered everything, yeah?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, we're going to do 2 entries for this one. Once again, apologies that I can't visualize the stop button. I'm going
And really what it comes down to is it's not your fault anyway. It was the train going by.
Whatever. I take full responsibility. We're going to watch something else, and we'll record something else at some time. Sorry it took us a little while to get these back up. Usually we like to do it once a week, but I had to travel to Florida on business. Couldn't be avoided. Don't hate me. We'll be back soon. Hugs and kisses. Good night.
We wouldn't hate you.